Yep.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, we'll be talking about that in the next couple of weeks, and I've done a bunch, and our guest has done a whole bunch, so that'll be a good discussion.
Yeah. So we've also touched upon hypothecations. Do you guys get involved in hypothecations much at all?
We've made some loans to folks against their note portfolios.
Okay.
Right. So for example, we'll lend up to 65% of the portfolio UPV
Okay.
and 55% of the cash flow. Right. So in other words, let's say you have $1 million portfolio, you can borrow $650,000 and $10,000 a month cash flow, your payment is going to be $5,500, rough numbers like that. So that way there's enough cushion to where if there's some slippage in your portfolio, you can still debt service. And if if a loan pays off, you pay your loan down and all that's built in. So we don't do a lot of one-off hypothecations, it's more on a portfolio level.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So for those who do have that kind of portfolio and you don't know Bob, which I'd be shocked, feel free to reach out to them. The link is inside the chat, it's pinned to the comment. Yeah, absolutely. So it's weird. We ran into, and I'm curious for you guys, this perspective that we've learned. We asked a lot of people at the Note Expo at DME last year this question. We're amazed how many seller finance people don't have a conference to go to. Have you guys learned the same thing? We're amazed that these people don't have a conference like we do.
It doesn't seem to be seller finance conferences.
Yeah. Have you ever seen one, or
do you know of any?
Not strictly for seller finance like that. No, I mean, I would say you can learn seller financing at Note Expo, at Source, at DME, at Noteworthy, but it's all evolved in the whole note space in general.
So that's why I'm trying to convince them. Like, if you are in the seller finance and wraps and subject twos, come to the note conferences. We're in the same game as you are, right? So I'm amazed that you guys don't have subject to conferences or wrap conferences or owner finance or seller finance. There's social media, but there's nowhere to meet what other people doing what you're doing. I encourage you to reach out, go to Note Expo, DME, and Paper Source, and all the other ones, because we're in the same space you are. We're the husband and wife kind of situation, right? You guys are creating, we're buying. I encourage you guys to definitely take a look. Come out, meet us in Dallas in a month from now, and just learn from both people who are doing what you're doing already, but also the flip side of those who are looking to buy from you and give you cash now so you can go buy more deals.
Yeah, I mean, you can find your capital source there. You also, like you said earlier, the vendors and service providers.
Very true.
You're going to create notes. You got to do it right. Whether that's whether that's do it in compliance, or whether it's do it at the proper note rate and term so you can exit at the number you're looking to exit at. So how to create a note. It was funny when you guys were talking about it, the first question you always get is, what are you going to pay me? What percent of UPV?
Yeah.
Well, if it depends on if you sold it to a lousy borrower at a low rate on a long term, what do you think you're going to get?
Yeah.
Right. But if you want to know, it's like, well, how do I write it if I want 95 cents on the dollar? It's like, so, there's a way to learn from all these people. I do want to say there's a lot of good stuff on social media, but there's a lot of stuff that's not accurate either. So back to my trust but verify. Make sure you're getting advice from somebody that knows what they're doing and not just some hot sports opinion in some Facebook chat.
Yeah. It's amazing. Me and Nathan should just do an episode on the craziest stuff we've seen. We've seen people, I hate to comment at people, but people who are new to the space and not using servicers, who are not putting in, using the PITI as a fixed amount on their note. And things like that, where there's no start date with paperwork. When people are doing those kind of things, that's your first problem, right? If you need to learn how to create that paper right. If you're not using a note servicer, you got to make sure you are. We had a couple people using apartments.com that we were just trying to educate them that doesn't equate into the note space like it does rental properties. And doing it right is the first step of doing this as a business versus a hobby.
I think that's a great point. If you're going to do it as a business,
Yeah.
Right? You got to do it right. You can't cut corners. I'm going to save $18 a month on this, or,
Yeah.
I don't want to do that because the RMLO is going to charge me $900 to create the documents correctly. Well, if you create a bad note, you're going to get a bad price, or when you go to foreclose on it, you're going to have an issue.
Yeah.
And you don't want to be on
Absolutely.
anybody's radar of creating notes that are not enforceable or are not in compliance, because, Dave may look good in orange, but not a lot of us want to be in an orange jumpsuit. So I'm just saying.
Well said, Bob. Well said.
A one-page note probably is not going to be sufficient when it comes to
Yeah, make sure your documents have thorough information, have a start date, your interest rate, your P&I should be separate from your tax and insurance. That number should adjust. You should have in there that the borrower will be notified that the escrow amount will adjust as the years go on. That you actually have an interest rate in there, and that you'll be licensed servicing it. I encourage you, those who are creating these, make sure you use the borrower to pay the servicing fee. You can do that. I encourage you to look at that, because this helps us as note buyers give you a higher rate. We don't have to subtract that from our monthly fee. So the idea is who those are creating it. So I love it. Nathan, I'll let you finalize this interview with our. We don't have a big catchy famous final last question.
Curious. But we've got people that come on that have different experiences that we do, and certainly it's not often that we have somebody with such a wealth of knowledge and experience. So having been through everything you've seen and been through all the experiences you have, what's your crystal ball? What do you see happening down the road here? Where's the note game heading?
Well, I could take the easy way out and say if I had a crystal ball, I wouldn't be on here with you guys, right? Wow, that's great. I think we're in for a good run. I mean, whether it's the NPL space or the performing loan space, and the ability to pivot, because I don't see the market changing for the better as far as lower interest rates and so forth. And there's going to be levers pulled on people that are going to have to liquidate and are going to have to recapitalize to some extent. And if you're sitting, look, the key to the note business is always being able to match deal flow and capital, right? There's going to be people watching today that got all the money and can't find a deal, and get people that got all the deals and they ain't got no money. Well, come to Note Expo and find somebody and make the match. But I still think there's going to be some NPL product. People are going to realize you can't always sell them for 90 cents on the dollar. People are, a year ago, real estate was on fire everywhere, and they're just, going to ride it to the end. Well, that's not the case anymore. And I think there's going to be some pressure. I'm always skeptical in presidential election years, because there's all kinds of voodoo math going on out there as far as what's really happening, and this is great, this isn't great, and so forth. But it does present opportunities because people get nervous.
Sure.
Be ready to pivot and have money ready. And look, if you're sitting on capital, either give it back to your investor, but don't pay stupid prices, because you don't want dry capital sitting there costing you. I'd rather give money back to investors than make a stupid trade outside of my financial model, because it's like, if I don't do a deal, I'm not gonna have any loans in my portfolio. I've seen people make stupid trades, overpay for loans because they just felt like they needed to do that. Not really a direct answer, but crystal ball, Nathan, I think we're going to see some good product 2020.
Well said, Bob. I think a lot of people don't remember what 05 looked like. Everyone was like, oh, we got to get deals. The real estate's never going to bubble up. And those who did a deal just to be in a deal realize how bad of a decision it is just to get into a deal. If you're 04, 05 and you went back to that self, what would you told yourself to do with that capital, or anyone to do with the capital? You were told, just put it back in the bank, hold off for a little while, because things are going to be on sale. And I think we're agreement that money will be well used when this market, when it happens. That's
and your
awesome.
investor is going to be, they may be disappointed their money didn't get, deployed. But if they know you're looking out for them and you're gonna, hey, look, this is our model and this is what we're doing, they don't want you making a bad trade with their capital either.
Right.
So, in our capital fund, it's our money to spend, but it's their money they invested, and they trust us to make good investments for them. And if there's not a good deal right now and I have to return capital, we do that. And that's just always, been my philosophy.
Absolutely. So for those who don't know, and we'll put on the page and link it on stuff. Wayne Garrett, which you guys know very well, will be actually our next guest in a few weeks. So stay tuned with that. But Bob, I appreciate it, man. I'll be seeing you in about a month. I'm ecstatic to be seeing you guys and spending my weekend with networking and meeting new and old friends. It's great. Looking forward to it.
Well, I know there's people on here that were on the fence whether or not to come to Note Expo, but now that they know you're going to be there, I'm going to pull up my registrations and just watch them tick up all afternoon.
Absolutely.
Now that they know you're going to be there.
Absolutely.
So I look forward to seeing you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. So guys, make sure I'll put the link back in the chat. Make sure you get on there. If you want Bob's information, go to the link there as well. We look forward to seeing everyone there. Bob, hold on for after hours and take care, everyone. Have a great weekend, everyone.
Thanks, everybody.
See you guys.
Good deal. Okay. Bob was good, my man. That was good.
I appreciate it. I thought it was good exchanges there and good ideas.
Yeah, good conversation. That's the whole point of this is conversation, talking. We don't get to talk much, and it's unfortunate. So I'll be flying in. Nathan, you know what time you're flying in?
On the Wednesday. Just in the afternoon.
Yeah, I was looking at some times. I'm looking probably getting around 6 or so, 6, 7 o'clock. And get down there and whatnot, and figure it out from there. And I'm probably flying home Saturday evening because I'm sure I got something going on Sunday. It's just weekends are tough. So, yeah. But so Bob, I think do you have a count? What you guys thinking? How many people will be there? I'm looking forward to going either way, but
we'll have right at 400. I think we're on track for about 375, and by the time we add people like you last minute or whatever, we'll get up there.
Nate, you want to tell them what IMM was like?
Small.
Oh yeah, I was there.
Oh, you're there?
Yeah.
Oh my God, he's like, dude, it was really tiny. Like, really?
Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know how they make any money. Because they comp after people and they have 4 exhibitors. I mean, I don't know what they do.
Yeah.
But we can tell you that running an event is not a real profit maker a lot of times. So I don't know how they do it. They must have some events where they really clean up.
Yeah. But I'm looking forward to it, man. I know that 3 or 4 people reached out to me this morning when they, I guess, saw the thing that they want to get in there. And I guess they were looking for how to bring their partner on. It's just go to the website. It's amazing people don't want to read. Yeah. Just go to the website and connect with it. I like the fact that you guys did, and the one person came back to me a half hour later, like, well, he's not really my partner. We're just friends in space. And you guys had it set up that they actually have to prove to their partners, which is really smart because most people, I go with Nathan and we're like, yeah, Bob, kind of thing. I think people, do that.
We have people like, well, I'm going to bring my wife, but she's not really in it. Can I get in cheap or whatever? I'm like, is she going to eat and drink? Yeah. I'm like, okay, well, we charge a certain amount for a certain reason.
Yeah.
I mean, well, she's a vegetarian. She's not going to eat. So it's crazy. And I'm like, look, if you're going to be in the note business and